Welcome everybody to Rob's MetalWorks. We are here at the home studio on another Saturday night, and I'm so stoked tonight because I get to talk about a record that I've been jamming out to for several weeks now. Brings me great pleasure to welcome crossover thrash band, yes, one of the most really momentous bands in our city right now, the band called Violent Practice.
Hey.
Yeah! Fuck! Oh my God!
Made it.
Oh my God! Yes, guys, we've been partying for like since 3:30. Thanks to the man here.
We do what we do.
Thanks to the man here.
I'm not wearing this sriracha shirt for nothing.
Got a pub. Tell your manager, hey, I was pubbing.
Gotta go to work.
Adrian, so cool to have you here, man. We were waiting for your fucking ass, but I'm glad you made it because I knew that to have you in this interview would be very important because this band really, to me, is a really a solid unit, and you're like at the heart of it. Now, guys, I'll be honest with you. I kind of came on to Violent Practice last year. I remember there was a friend of mine here who said, Rob, have you heard of this band called Violent Practice? I said, not really. Well, check them out. And we were jamming to your tunes that night. And I was like, man, these guys are great. Now, obviously, this was before the new record. So this was like Deadly Sins era stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was like, yeah, this is cool. I love crossover. I love thrash. That's my genre. So for those people, and Deadly Sins came out in 2018, and that's all I know. For the people out there across the country, our region, and the world who will watch this interview, tell us a little bit about the beginnings of this band. When did you guys get this band really kind of together?
Good Lord. That's a very good question. Kind of important between me and this dude because we would work at a bar together.
We worked at a bar with a really crazy owner, so like the origins of this band is pretty wild.
Yeah, so I mean,
I didn't have a place. I was kind of homeless, so I was living in my jam's band space above the bar at this time.
And I
was
next
bar
door.
backing there. My first bar.
Did you guys know each other?
Oh
No.
no.
Oh.
I hated this motherfucker.
He would come into the bar and he would drink, and I'm like, this fucking guy again. He has nowhere to fucking go. It's 2:00.
Right when we're closing, right? He
No.
shows up.
2 in the afternoon.
Oh, what the fuck?
Like, dude,
Sounds like Robert Chavez.
go to work.
No, but then it'd be like I end up working with a guy, and I'm just like, I'm like, hey, you're a fucking piece of shit. And he's like, oh, you're a piece of shit. Well, let's smoke weed together. I'm like, all right.
And then it was like, let's make a band.
That happened kind of later down the line.
Yeah.
Where we got accommodated with each other.
Moved in with Crazy Dave.
Crazy Dave is one of our songs on Nutsoid.
I moved in with this dude, and he would come over. We'd hang out a lot. He would come since we were working together. We'd work, and then we'd hang out at Dave's house. And this guy he's wild. Anyways, moving away from
we
that.
were gangbanging his girlfriend.
What?
So
While he was at work?
So he would tweak
He had a
out,
lot of things going on. He was
eat cereal in the
I
dark.
didn't know anything about this
Some
guy,
weird
so I was like, yeah, I need a place to stay.
2 minutes in, and we're talking about gangbang.
So yeah.
Oh, God.
Deadly Sins.
Here we go.
We're trying to get to the first
Here we go.
song. We were hanging out. We started writing a stupid fucking song. It was a riff.
But did you guys know, did you tell him, like, I'm into metal, and you told him,
Yeah,
I'm into
we had
metal,
already had those
too?
conversations.
Yeah.
I play in like
We
different
told
rock
each other
bands.
we sucked. That's what we did.
He played in other bands. It was just like, we both played music. We enjoyed it. We would honestly, me and this guy like Kiss. When he said he liked Kiss, I was like, I fucking love Kiss. You like Ozzy? I fucking love Ozzy and Sabbath.
Did you just say we kissed?
We would get drunk and like jam fucking old 80s hair metal and like shit.
Wow.
A lot of my friends really didn't listen to, but I found this guy. I was like, oh shit, I can jam this shit with this guy.
Dude,
and
yeah.
not,
Are you Hotter Than Hell, top to bottom? That is the only album that's ever gonna do it for me. 1974. That is like one of the best top tier albums ever.
Wow.
Still to this day.
Well,
Thank you for
getting
sharing
to the
that.
First song, we write a riff. We had some lyrics, so we needed to go pick up like a cable from my the space.
We did.
So we drive to this my old practice space, the one I was living at.
And this is how the band starts.
Move the mic closer to him, please.
I get out of the car on the passenger side. We were in your car, and I look down at the floor, and I don't say anything, but I look at this guy, and I look at him, and I have this face like, dude, for real. And I look down, and there's a big old bag of cocaine.
What?
It's a big, because it was the parking lot of the bar that I worked at. So we would always find like weed money. People like going for their keys after when they're drunk.
They
and
would
shit
drop
falls out
their
of
shit.
pockets.
Wow.
So that day, we right where he parked, there's a big old bag. So we pick it up.
So we did lab tests on it.
And we wrote
It's blue. It turns blue.
It turned blue.
Writing the first song.
Yeah, which was Manslaughter.
Wow.
Which is a pretty crazy story.
You know what? That story doesn't surprise me a bit because you guys are kind of fucking wild and crazy. I've learned that in the last couple of hours.
The other songs just snowballed after that. We wrote them in that practice space because I kept the practice.
It continues with the
It was
analogies.
basically me and him. We didn't know what we wanted to do. We didn't even play any of them live. We were just writing.
So what
He
year was
writing
that?
lyrics.
What year was that? Was
That was 2017.
2017?
And it was strangely enough, we found this guy on Craigslist.
It's a Craigslist guy.
Dude,
Hired gun.
it was a hired gun. I mean, yeah, it was strangely enough like, and he became one of our biggest assets to this
Of course.
new record. But during the original one, like it was.
He's all over this record. I
Yeah.
hear the bass all over this record. It's beautiful.
been such a.
I love
a
it.
roller coaster.
That's what beautiful crossover is. Beautiful crossover, like old school DRI, has that heavy bass in it. And especially as a 4-piece band, I mean, that has to be in there.
And at that point, we had already tried to start playing live, so that's where we're like, well, we need a bass player. Craigslist ad, and he was the first one and the only one. So
Random, so random.
it's kinda
Wow.
crazy, but
So, 2017, then in 2018, Deadly Sins came out.
Yeah.
And Deadly Sins had like 4 or 5 tracks on it. How many tracks?
13.
13 tracks. All 1 minute
Yeah.
tracks. That's cool.
that was the goal.
That was cool. I mean, like,
want to do too much. It's just let's get some shit out.
it's like fucking SOD shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Hector, right?
Sort of.
I mean, those are like really like, yeah.
yeah,
Even like MOD.
quick little punk songs.
Yeah.
I love it. I love
It's
it.
like you always gotta have that record. It's like kind of like you're forming yourself, and then you come along the line.
And you know, I think you make a great statement there because because I know, you know, believe it or not, guys, I've known about you guys for a while, and I'm familiar with Deadly Sins. And then when your new record came out, Demented Circus, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, I just kind of felt like, whoa, like these dudes have like just grown tremendously. You know, Demented Circus has like 4 and 5 minute songs on it. And these are more evolved, real songs where, like, you go back to the chorus, you go back to the fucking thrash riff, you go back to the lyric, the chorus, and it's like, these are real songs. So there's been a huge kind of, for me, I've kind of felt like, man, these guys have really developed, like, in the last 4 or 5 years into be, like, this really cool band. So, we've kind of talked a little bit about it in my introduction. I used the word crossover, and we use the words thrash. But what do you tell people? Do you use those same words?
I'm like, just come check it out. You like it, you like it. You don't, I don't know. Say la vie. But I mean, for the most part, it's just about having like a good mentality and, you know, wrecking something that's like back in the 80s, because that's always I've been something introduced to. Even when I was young, one of my first cassette tapes was Overkill.
Yeah.
from Motorhead.
I've seen you wear Overkill shirts.
But this was the Motorhead.
Overkill Motorhead.
Yeah.
I think Overkill from New York. Oh, sorry.
No, I mean, I love Overkill too. Like
Yeah.
Bobby Blitz, everybody.
Yeah, Bobby Blitz.
Banging ass fucking cake. T.D. Verning, those guys fucking rule.
Fuck yeah.
But I mean, for what it is like we're kind of incorporating all sounds, and like whatever comes out is like what sounds good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you can't really do anything else. You know what I mean? You're just trying to create something that's fucking unique.
And satisfying to you as a fan.
Yeah.
and a musician too.
I mean, just
something that you like.
yeah. I mean, it was
Like, get off
something
to.
I'd be interested in. You know what I mean?
How can you get off? How can you get off to it live if if you don't get off to it personally?
Yeah, because honestly, I could say even when we practice, like we'll play like Ripper, and like I'll stop me like, man, that was fun, and these guys like, yeah, that was fun. Like all the cool things that we get to do in there musically in each part and individually, you know, we all have our fun in each section, and it's cool.
There's been as with most bands, there's been a little bit of progression in the lineup. You guys mentioned Abraham earlier, but yet I thought it was kind of funny that I found out tonight. I've seen some of your recent posts, and Hector's with the fucking mask. This is our new guitar player, but yet I found out that Hector's been with the band for a couple of years now, since pre-pandemic now.
November 2019.
A la chinga.
Pre-pandemic, yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the day right there.
Oh,
November
shit.
2019.
What time was it, bro?
Yeah, Delaware.
He was
So
he was
let Hector
born
share a little
9,
bit about
9, 10 p.m.
His experiences in the metal scene before joining Violent Practice.
Yeah, so I grew up listening to old school punk and metal, you know. But
And the gist that I've gotten tonight, Hector, from just conversations, is that that's more your genre, the punk genre. Is that right?
yeah, this San Antonio scene, I play with a lot of bands around here. A lot of them are just garage bands, but the most prominent were the Despicables. I'm still playing with them. The thing is, local metal bands, I did try out and play with a couple, but they were just, I wasn't on the same page. Well, we weren't on the same page. It just turned out one other punk band that I did play with, we needed a drummer. Met Joseph. I guess there was something there that we kind of clicked during like just warming up or, you know, whatever. He hands me the CD. It's Violence. Well, it was Deadly Sins. Gave it a listen, fell in love with it, kept it on the back burner. Like, this is pretty cool because there's not too many good metal bands, you know, around here. Everything kind of seems to be down-tuned, you know, real guttural. And me as a guitar player, it's all in E standard. I'm like, hey, this is pretty heavy for E standard. You don't have to go in, you know. Anyways, I moved on, let Joseph know I was interested, and we picked it up from there.
You told me earlier tonight that Joseph had sent you the Deadly Sins.
Yeah.
And you were like, you didn't hear it for a while, and then you heard it, and you were like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah. So what happened was we rehearsed. It was.
And I would be I'm sorry to interrupt you, sir,
No,
but
that's good.
and I would be remiss not to say that I found out tonight, Adrian, too, that you play guitar and that you wrote a lot of the riffs on Deadly Sins. So to me, that's like so cool. I'm like, man, like you never think like vocalists or guitar players or drummers or guitar players like Charlie from Anthrax, but it's kind of cool to find out, because then you really find out who are kind of the leaders and the masterminds in a band, and I think that's very important. Because you can have guitar players who are like shredders, but they're not really the songwriters or the heart of it. So for you to kind of say like, oh yeah, I like this Deadly Sin stuff, that was all kind of Adrian kind of riffs.
Yeah, it was because
Well, a lot. I wrote half of those on guitar.
Oh,
as
okay,
well.
cool.
I play guitar and bass, so like surfing, me and him, I wrote the music, and then he came up with the lyrics.
Yeah.
And then that was how we, you know.
Oh.
So, yeah, we all really contributed.
Yes, tell me.
Way.
yeah, it was like I said, like the first day I met Joseph, and that was on your house in Delaware.
And you told him, I'm down, I'm in.
Well, it was like, he's like, this is my band, Violent Practice, and I'm like, okay, cool. Put it away, and kind of forgot about it. But as time went along, got to know Joseph, I'm like, you know, let me check this out. I was floored. I was like, man, I should have listened to this like weeks ago, and I'm just listening to it now. It was like gold, you know, just for me as a guitar player, again, E standard kind of thing, and shit, man, this thing rips. And
One of the original things I wanted to introduce is I wanted to make standard heavy, because everyone has that opposition as a guitar player, being like, oh,
What do you
You
mean by
playing
that?
in
What do you mean by that for like all the non-musicians out there? Like,
I mean,
you're talking musician stuff, and like so it's going a little over my head. Like, I don't even know what you mean by
so
that.
like there's a standard tuning, and that's
okay.
what and everyone's like, nah, man,
It's not a
if you're-
drop tune.
If you're not in drop D or
Yeah, we're
drop
not drop
C,
D,
man,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
not jamming.
Thrash is like, you know, They play standard power trip.
or even like Slayers and half step or anything like that. I was like, well, let me try to do something different. Can I incorporate the standard tuning to sound heavy and like just as malicious as this other sounding things? So that's what I try to incorporate.
Is
And also too with a great bottom men like having Abraham.
yeah.
There's great bottom men.
You're
I would
bottom.
think that's harder to do. It's harder to make E sound
big old
heavy
bottom.
if you're playing fast. Is that not true? I mean, if you're playing it slow, I can get it, but if you're playing it like super fast, like you guys play,
Well, I mean, the even the new Exodus album is like what, a drop C or something like
I
that.
don't know. But
When
it's
they
fast.
revamped Bonded by Blood, when they did that, Let There
Yeah,
Be
they
Blood.
changed the tuning on the
Yeah,
second
it's
recording.
it's like C or something like that.
I want to talk about too. In this day and age, in the social media era, imagery is so important, and I've kind of seen you guys kind of promote things that you're doing with skating, skateboarding.
Oh yeah, that was
How did that come into play, and how important is that?
that was a big thing with my life. Like, hands down, skate or die. I try to skate as much as I can. Being from like a little town, Del Rio, 830, shout out.
Yeah.
But I mean, just skateboarding just like kind of saved my life, and like I would just be some other loser working the rigs or something if I didn't incorporate that. And like music goes hand in hand. Like you gotta pick your song, you gotta pick like what you're gonna skate to, all that other stuff. Like those things kind of coincide together, and like skateboarding's always been a huge part of my life. He's been always with his dad with surfing.
What
I
is
grew
it?
up
What is
surfing
it
with
about
my
the
dad.
culture of skateboarding?
Well,
What is it about the culture of
It's-
skateboarding?
it's just all together, be together. It's kind of like the old Saxon saying, like denim and leather puts you all together.
wow.
Like it's
That's
just
fucking
like
cool, bro, that you say that.
It's just like an old
Wow.
Saxon saying. So
Denim and leather.
And when music and skating had that crossover and they just started teaming up together. Hey, we're out here kind of doing the same thing. My fans like this. It's the same people that kind of gravitate towards that music. So why not throw them together, We played with Agent Orange recently.
I saw that.
Dude, they were probably some of the first ones that started being, playing at skate parks and shit like that,
I want to give an opportunity. I don't want to forget about Abraham over here. Abraham, tell us a little bit about. Obviously, you kind of had come in, and you're so, as I mentioned earlier, you're so prominent, kind of in the sound of what Violent Practice is. It's what I call a crossover thrash band. Were you kind of already in tune with playing that type of metal?
It didn't take me much to get involved with how Adrian made his arrangements. I was down with playing that kind of style prior to meeting these cats, and I just felt like this is an opportunity for me to move forward and progress and show my talents, and it just worked out even better than I thought. We just we're the original trio. And we didn't have a guitarist,
Right.
And so we've been plugging away, and I think that time and method of me spinning with Joseph and Adrian, it's allowed me to progress and shine, and they're all for it, Yeah. I mean, who
When you have one guitar player and you're a 4-piece band, if you have a strong bass player, dude, you don't need another guitar player. You can pull it off. So,
Yeah.
dude, you're all over this fucking record, and we're gonna talk about that starting now. So, guys, I told you this before, and I'm gonna say it again on camera. You're here because I am a fan of Demented Circus, your latest record. And for all you people out there who have not yet seen it, go ahead and take a look at the cover work. It is already out. The digital release came out at the end of May. So you can surely find it. And if you're lucky like me, you can get a hard copy like that. Go to the show and pick one up, or Hogwild Records. You can get one too there, right, Joe? Yeah. Yeah. You can get a sticker and a patch, even though I didn't get the patch. I'm just fucking with you. But I do want the patch. But, very cool, guys. I love this record. And, I got to thank Clifton Miles out at Stone Creek
Shout out.
for sending me
Stone
this
Creek.
record, because
Absolutely.
if he had not done that, really, you guys probably wouldn't be here. But he sent it to me weeks and weeks ago, and he says, Rob, I know what you like. You're a thrash guy. You got to check this fucking out. I said, send it. And he says, have you heard of Violent Practice? I said, yeah, I've heard about them. I've jammed to some of their older shit. He goes, and I said, they're recording with you? Dude, I'm going to be honest. I was really surprised that you guys recorded with Cliff.
Same.
There's not a lot of crossover thrash bands that record with Cliff. Most of the heavy bands that record with Cliff are like more melodic type style. They're heavy bands, but they're more melodic.
Well, actually, Havoc recorded with them too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Havoc?
Havoc.
From Colorado?
Yep.
Oh. That was way before my time then. I mean,
I think they did.
before I started following Havoc.
I think they did the first album, Burn, with
Oh.
there.
I got to look into that.
Yeah.
News to me. But nonetheless, we're talking about San Antonio metal.
Absolutely.
So I think you guys were like, I was like, fuck, with Cliff. So when he sent me the tracks, I heard them. I thought they were amazing. I was like, whoa, this is killer. Sounds great. Fucking great songs. Let's talk a little bit about this record now. When did the songs for Demented Circus start coming together? How long after Deadly Sins did they start coming together? Or are these leftover songs? Are these reworked songs?
This
Things
is during
like that.
COVID, dude. Like,
No, it was in February.
This
that
was
April.
before COVID.
well, that's when we played that house show. This is in Denver. Oh, right.
I recorded. Ripper started at the old house. I came up with that riff, and then we ended up chopping up that song. It became a whole nother thing, but it started off with the riff. And I want to say Ripper might have been the first song. Then Bedridden, you had Bedridden.
I writ Bedridden. Yeah, completely.
Maybe that was the first one.
Yeah, that was the first one, was Bedridden, because I read that one completely. And then you guys just kind of chopped it up a little bit. And then
Yeah,
Ripper came next.
We also had other riffs that we were messing around with. We just didn't really nothing really happened. But
This had a song called Riff City, which I loved, but it's never going to be available. It was called Riff City. It was just riff. Kind of like an old fucking Devastation song.
But yeah, we ended up we came up with Ripper, Bedridden, and then Abduction came along. Martial Law was a lot later, along with Demented. Demented was even the last one we did at my new house. I moved around places.
They didn't even like Martial Law. I was like, just play that. And I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
we did Martial Law.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be the first single.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Wow, killer. Guys, what a nice, beautiful little coffee break we had there. Interesting, and I love spending time with you because I'm learning so much more about you individually and as people and as a band, and I'm really digging it because you're taking me back to my early days, man, when I was wild and crazy like you fuckers are. Let's talk about really, I think what really stands out about Demented Circus is the recording. I remember when I heard it, I was like, man, this sounds so pro. I love to hear thrash. Like even when you hear like the old Slayer records, like I remember I had my phone on random, and like Mandatory Suicide by Slayer came on, and the production sounded like shit. And I'm like, man, I'm not even like used to this old sorry ass production anymore. I want to hear bands that sound loud and fat and really pop on my stereo. Demented Circus did that for me. So talk a little bit about the recording.
We did do Clifton Miles at Sound Creek Studio. Shout out. Hey, what's up, dude? We did it was a lot of hardship, dude, because we had to like impress ourselves. If not, then Miles gave us that little push and go to. He's like, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Let's go the extra step. Let's do this extra mile. Let's do this extra push. So like that was really motivating as a producer or somebody's like not really knowing where we came from. Like that was awesome. It was so good.
And that's kind of cool because Cliff, You know, I would never, like I was telling you off camera, like I would never picture Cliff with a band like you guys. And not to mean anything negative on your end or his end, but just like you guys are like at the opposite ends of the spectrum, just because I know the kind of bands that he works with. But for him to kind of say, let me add my little shine to what you're doing and to kind of push you to kind of be at the next level. We talked about earlier, I said earlier off camera too, I hate sloppy fucking thrash bands or black metal bands, you know, and he's going to really push you to be tight.
Yeah, Cliff, well, we met halfway with a lot of stuff as well. I mean, this guy showed him some stuff. I showed him some stuff. He showed me albums that he thought the drum sounded awesome on, and, you know, I agreed with him on a lot of that stuff. So, you know, I love that he was willing to, like, hear our opinion as well and kind of meet us halfway with,
Sure,
you know, making sure that we still kept our vibe and a little bit of our sound, especially like Abraham's bass sound. That's one of them that, you know, he plays with his fingers, so he's a unique player to capture. You know, not like most players that are playing with picks these days.
Pinches Steve Harris.
So, you know, just getting that down, you know, that was a thing, and making sure that we capture Abe properly, you know. So he did a great job just, you know, getting this out with his touch and a little bit of us as well.
Dude, and two, I thought one of the things that was kind of I thought about, like, man, you guys play so fast. Like, you guys are like,
Not fast enough.
When I hear you guys' music, and like I try to sing along with what you're doing, Adrian, like I get tired. I'm like, God damn, like I don't know how you guys pull it off live. Like I would be exhausted. I think I'd be tired just watching you.
I don't think these guys realize that.
Like,
I don't think these guys realize that. But sometimes I get very exhausted. Sometimes I don't. It just depends, you know.
Well, it depends if you're in corpus or not.
No, I mean through the whole time, like at that point, it's all about like how we can produce ourselves to be great whenever we're playing live, and I need that sound guy to be like on point. So that's how we can produce this product like the way we want it, like every night. Because there's been days where I'm like kind of a little raspier, or
right.
not, and like it just kind of, it's all about production and how much you care about like your scene and the value, you know. Sometimes.
How long did it take you guys to record the 5 songs with Cliff?
2 weeks, probably.
That quickly?
Well, I didn't have days off.
He's not a drummer. His assumption on time is way off.
I can tell you how long Joseph
it took a couple, like we laid down tracks, but as far as like the overall, it took us a couple months for like our schedules to get in line for him to go record.
Right.
We did the drums and the bass pretty quickly within like a good amount of time. We sat on those and make sure that it was what we wanted, and we wanted to move forward. And then he did the guitar, and we did the vocals. So overall, it was a good couple months process. Even the writing, we had a lot of these songs, and during COVID, we took that time to just sit back and reshape them.
Yeah.
And add little transitions or do things like, hey, maybe we can hear this differently, you know, this week. Let's try this.
Great point.
So we did a couple things there, and I think that really helped us, you know, turn it into something that we can listen to over and over again, to where it's not just like a stale song that gets old, you know.
I listen to this record, like when I put on this record, like I don't put on one song. I listen to the whole 5 songs. And then
the intro actually is
on
made
Abduction
from some dude.
Oh no! See, I didn't know about the intro till tonight.
In Poland, right? Switzerland. Some
Talk
dude,
a little bit about that. Because
that dude
Cliff,
actually.
you didn't send me the intro. Did Cliff have the intro or no? I didn't get the
don't-
intro. I thought you were talking about the intro for Abduction.
No.
That's the thing we discussed in the studio, but we didn't actually get to do. So I did it after the fact. After everything was done, I reached out to some dude in Switzerland.
But dude,
He did a
that
great job.
The carnival. Kind
yeah,
of motif.
that is actually hand done. So that's like
I want to check that
not
out.
reciprocated.
I got my
It's
CD.
on
I'm
the
gonna put it
intro.
on, and I'm gonna delete everything I got. Because even the order that I have the songs in on my iTunes is not right. Right? It's not
Yeah,
right.
no.
Demented's the first track.
Try to get some cotton candy. Put the CD on from the beginning.
Take my insulin
And
shot.
close your eyes and enjoy it. You know?
Fucking OD on fucking cotton candy. Guys, oh, that's so cool. thank you so much for sharing so much about this record. One of the things too that I think is important to talk about, Demented Circus, really, when you have a title like that, I thought the title, I think you guys did a lot of things right. The title pops, the artwork pops, and then when those things happen, it makes me think about like, ooh, like what is this record saying? It's like Demented Circus. Like, yeah, we all live in a crazy fucking world now. So talk a little bit about some of the motifs and the themes of this record.
I'm glad you got that, because I think a lot of people might just look at it as like, oh, they're doing a circus record. Like, no, there's actually, you know, we're trying to talk about like things without actually talking about it. I mean, if that makes sense, you know.
And I think that's a safe way to do it now, because, you know, people get offended and things like that. But it's like we cannot ignore how we feel about some of the ugliness that we see, the craziness that we see in our world. How many people have we seen fucking falter to the pressures of just daily life because of sickness or the seven deadly sins or whatever?
So I think
Tell us.
the whole thing is like kind of correct in your term, but as Demented Circus presumes, it's kind of martial law. It's kind of like, hey, bedridden. It's kind of like Ripper.
Right.
So all these things kind of entail how the world we live in is sick deeds or sick thoughts, which is always violent practice. It's a violent practice you have in your head, but you don't use it verbally or actions.
Do you even know it?
A violent practice?
Yeah, the people that are fucking like demented or some
I'm
people
sick.
don't even know it.
I'm sick myself, sir.
Yeah, we get some
I
good
think that's the
characters
scariest
there.
thing about it is when if you're living in your own world and you don't know you're crazy, but then they're
That's
people
the
are
thing,
looking at,
bro.
That's the crazy thing. You're looking at that guy like, no, you're crazy, and he's pointing the finger at you like, no, you're fucking crazy.
Oh.
Yeah. So about martial law.
Well, whoever's talking, get the mic.
So what he was telling me, he's like, martial law is just a little play on words. It's like martial law ensuing to like, hey, the government will take over your society besides over martial, which is like the half stack or full stack that we use in play, which I know Razor uses too, which is called martial law, which is super more badass than our song. But I mean, it's just like one and the same, but it kind of entails this whole like tale for like now, because dude, we're having fucking mass shootings. We're having like all this other weird shit going on. Nobody gives a fuck. Like everybody stopped giving a shit, and like nobody like cares. But when you come back down, like this is what this crazy world is. This is a circus.
It is.
Like the old saying, "Hey, not my monkey, not my circus."
You know, it's so easy to talk about these things, and at the same time, it's a very serious, precarious time that we live in this world now.
Excuse me for
when you think about like what happened in Uvalde like a few weeks ago, it's like
absolutely.
fucking crazy, bro. It's like, I mean, you like you send your kid to school and then they don't come back. It's like, it's insane, bro. Yeah, Demented Circus. Everybody, again, look for that
Crazy
record
world.
out there. I love it. I love this record. It's totally heavy. It's real and fucking gets me going. I love it. You guys released a video for Martial Law with the clown, which was cool. I'm glad that you guys kept kind of like the motif of the cover work, and I want to talk about the cover work because I think the cover work is so cool. And we're going to get to that in a little bit. I want to give that artist some props because I think it came out really cool. It's a nice piece. And I think cover work is so important. I think bands kind of dismiss it sometimes because they think the music speaks for it all. But as human beings, we're very visual people. So, like, you know, if you looked at the first Iron Maiden record, you'd be like, oh, this is fucking going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And if you would have had a sorry cover work, you never wouldn't have thought that. I think that way about Demented Circus. When I saw the cover, I was like, man, this looks sick. This looks demented. This looks like, yeah, like something I want to fucking dive into. So, you guys did a video for Martial Law, had the clown in it. And when I saw the video, I thought it was very well done. For it being a minute and a half. It was a minute and a half.
for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a quick shout out to Manny Guadillas, who actually stepped up to the plate and did a
Was he the clown?
He was a clown. He
did a great job.
He's a good personal
Who was
friend
the
I
girl?
work with
Who was the
over on
chick?
Fort Sam.
Our friend Bianca.
Bianca.
Our friend Bianca.
Bianca?
She plays in a band called Blame the Villain.
Oh, really?
With Jerry. They're great. She helped us out.
Jerry's awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah. I thought she did a great job, and I thought the way that the guy, the videographer, shot it, like he shot some down shots, and then like he shot Bianca on top of the box, like the top shots.
we shot it
I
at
thought it was great.
Missions. Dillard, shout out to Dillard at Missions. That's the place to be.
Give shouts.
Book shows, go to a show, be there. But I mean, he helped us out. His layout of that place was just perfect. We, on the back end, his mom sewed the suit. She came up with the material. I made the box. But it was all just an effort between all of us to we don't really have like cash to be like, oh, let's make a $1,000 video. No, we do what we can. Go to Home Depot, buy some stuff, throw some stuff together.
I thought it was well done. I thought the clown costume was well done. The box was well done. Obviously, you guys performing. I love to see you guys perform.
That was his idea.
Adrian, you're so fucking crazy. I love to see you perform.
Oh, yeah.
You get crazy, bro. I'm like, God damn.
I just look weird in general.
I was like, God, this guy's coming to my house.
I haven't showered.
I don't know if I want him here or
I don't
not.
shower every day.
I don't know if I want him here or not. No, but I'm just kidding. Great video.
And
great
going
video.
back to the artwork, like you're right, dude. Like creating like a whole the imagery, putting the imagery to the songs. That's what me and him always like doing. Like putting the cover art. That was always, like you said, it was always a big thing. Who did the cover art for this album? Who did the cover art for that album? And doing something really, really cool. Because that's usually the first thing you see. I mean, I as a kid, I picked up records because I was like, look at that album.
For
It
sure.
looks cool.
For sure.
Let's just hear what it sounds like. If it doesn't even sound good, I'm going to put it on my wall because that's a cool cover, whatever it is.
I want to give a big shout out to Albert, who helped me do this fucking cover work. Me and him sat down for quite a few hours and try to mesh this all out.
I like the Jack the Ripper and the Alien and all that.
I'm
I
glad
think
you
it's cool.
caught that. I'm glad you
course,
got
I
that. That
see it
is
all.
Jack the Ripper, which
That
is
is
the song
Jack the
riff.
Ripper. He's killing a little girl.
But from what this is in this original form, this was a Ringlings Brothers advertisement ad from 1942, and it was a flyer that they had all over the walls of the United States. So we're kind of bringing some of that old life and giving it structure
Wow.
Even the
and
book
depth.
and video, Joseph got that book.
Yeah.
I was going through like old circus flyers, just a bunch of old circus stuff, looking up old weird clowns that it's weird, but a lot of old clowns incorporated music in their acts. It was a music and funny kind of thing. It was a whole entertainment thing. So seeing that and like a lot of like old like French clowns or something, I want to say, like kind of inspired the idea for the intro, and that's where these things kind of just manifested after just doing a deep dive into weird stuff like that. I started seeing this girl around that time, and she's like, "What's the deal with all this clown stuff?" She's like, "I hope you're not weird." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm a little weird."
She was like, "Bang me
I'm
with
a
the clown
little
outfit on."
weird, but yeah,
Wow.
just CD stuff.
Sweaty as shit.
And you were like, baby.
Pretty girl.
You guys,
Pretty girl.
you guys did a lot of videos for Deadly Sins release. Is that
Yes,
the
we
plan
did.
for this record? I mean, I hope so.
Initially, it is
Yeah, that's the idea.
I would love to see a video for Demented. My demented world. Yeah, I get it. No, I love that fucking chorus.
Oh, thank
and
you.
Ripper. So, yeah, I hope you guys can pull it off. You guys did a lot of videos previously, and I think that, like I said before, the medium is so important. And I think this record, bands, because they play these songs, they write these songs, they record these songs. These songs might be old hat to them, after a while. But to the public, they're still new.
Yeah.
So, they want to move on to the next new shit before the public's even absorb the current shit. Right. So don't fall into that trap. Let the public fucking love this record. I think this record has a lot of potential and has a lot of support still behind it. So yes, do the videos, do the tours, play these songs out over and over again before you even start thinking about releasing new shit, man. Because I think Demented Circus deserves that. You guys did a really good piece of work here, and like we were saying off camera, if you can get some publicity behind it, sky's the limit, guys. I really, really feel that, and that's why I have you here tonight. That's why I have you here tonight, because I'm a fan of these songs, bro. I jam them every day.
Can I give a quick shout out?
Sure.
Yeah, so we want to also thank Dan Randall with Mammoth Engineering for stepping up and
Absolutely. We need to talk about the mastering.
mastering.
Ah.
Yeah, he was very, very integral. One of like the last finishing touches,
Absolutely.
and I can't say enough about the guy.
I'm gonna upload that shit tonight.
And he hooked us up with we did a couple of formats of that master. So CD's not the first thing we're gonna release. We're hoping to get this on vinyl. That's the next step.
Oof.
So
Oof.
we're starting that
I want a
process,
vinyl.
cassette. But we're starting the
I want a
process.
vinyl.
So we'll get it soon.
I want a vinyl, 90% discount. Just kidding, guys.
5-finger discount.
Let's talk about road work now. You guys are pretty busy. I mean, I see you guys playing shows. I know that you guys do Houston and Dallas. So you're kind of regional, but and you're getting that name out. I think more and more people are starting to know about the name Violent Practice. What do you want to do now that this record is out and that you have something great to stand upon? What do you want to do for the rest of 2022? Ideally, what would you like to do?
I would want to carry this on the road for a little bit to see.
For sure. Where do you want to go? New markets? Same markets?
I mean,
what markets are good for you?
I got shout out to Same Breaker, shout out to Warhead, all those other Arizona bands, all those other dudes from New Mexico. Shout out to Mero. They used to be in Bonded by Blood, dude.
Oh, we were just jamming Bonded by Blood tonight.
That's his name. We were talking
Mauro
about him.
Gonzalez, right?
Yeah, no,
You kind of look like Mauro.
yeah, I get that all the time.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would love
Didn't
that.
he used to live here?
Yeah, he did.
And then he moved back to LA or what?
No, I think he's in Arizona right now. But I love the guy. Love all those dudes. I played with Witch Haven from my old band, from Army of Drunks, way back in the day.
Dude, we were jamming Bonded by Blood before you got here. That record that he's on called Aftermath.
Yeah.
We were jamming it.
He's a good singer. He does what the fuck
He's kind of
doing.
wild. I remember one time I partied with him at Bonds. He's
Oh
kinda
yeah,
crazy.
he does not stop.
He's kind of crazy.
And nor do I. But
You're
I
kind of
mean-
crazy too.
all my homies from Warhead, Same Breaker, all those other dudes, they're fucking tight. I
Dude,
love them,
I'm gonna
dude.
say this really quick, Adrian, and I'll say this on camera. I think you're a great singer, bro, and I think you have your own style, and I think what you do on stage and in videos is really intense and fuck, bro, it's one of a kind. I think
thank you.
You got a good thing going. You got your own style, and you're heavy, bro. You're intense, and I think that. Not a lot of singers can bring that emotional content into what they do. They may want to do it, but they don't do it effectively. I think you do it very well.
Dude, that's a big honor, especially coming from you, man.
Dude, I see it, and I love it. And, I'll be frank in saying I have not been to a Violent Practice show. I've seen your videos. I've seen all your videos, your live videos, your videos on YouTube, and I want to go to a show. So hopefully I can make it out to, when's the next show? July 1st, right?
You were at the DRI show, sir.
I think, but I was just,
All right, I think we can play first.
I was crazy that night.
We do have Killer Hearts, Liberty Justice, Tiny, XIL coming up on, I believe,
July 1st?
Yeah, July 1st.
July 1st. This interview
San
will be out
Antonio.
before July 1st. So where's
And
that
then
at?
it's gonna be Paper Tiger.
Paper Tigers.
It's a free show.
Free show.
Free show.
21 and up.
But I'll spend $150 on
But we
beer.
are doing Asesino, which is a side
Oh,
project of Brujeria, with
Dino?
Siempre Carpe. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Ill Adjusted, and it's us. We're doing it on the 27th of this month at Boozers.
in Houston.
Which shout out to Tommy. I love Corpus
Corpus
Christi.
Christi.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to make it out to the Paper Tiger show. What time? I'll get with Joseph and find out what time you guys go on. I want to go out there and shoot some footage, and I'd love to shoot some footage of you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
And release it and just have it in my archive. Great stuff. Maybe we'll put it on the OnlyFans. Guys, what a great interview tonight. Oh man, you've been drinking,
Oh, it's
fucking
been-
talking shit.
And I still
Oof.
gotta go back to work,
Oh
bro.
man, you're gonna be thinking about tonight all night. Gentlemen, before we end out, I think we covered all the bases on the record and what's happening with the band. So now I just want to give each one of you an opportunity to say any thank yous, shout out any love to people in San Antonio, in Texas, or around the world who will watch this interview. So let's go and start with Abraham first. Abraham, just send any love, man, anything.
Hey, yeah. Well, I gotta thank my family keeping me in. I jam with my brothers, and that's how I started into this industry. And just keeping it. Yeah, Bloodhammer and Evil One Sin. Just being with those cats and supporting them and being around them has kept me hanging around in the scene, because they're still doing it. I'm still doing it.
But wife and children too, or no?
Oh yeah, I mean,
or significant others. Because we all know. I mean, I'll tell you. I mean, we all know if you're fucking in this business, whether you're a musician or whatever you do, it's our loved ones that fucking suffer because we take time away from them to do what we want to do. Right.
Right. I try to manage my time as best I could.
Sure.
And yeah, if it wasn't for the all the time, or them just pushing me, letting me know, hey, you do what you do and you have a good time doing it, and I always come back home, and that's what matters, right?
Makes you happy, bro.
Yeah.
Makes you happy. Life's too fucking short.
Shout out to the family. Shout out to my friends. You keep it near and dear to me. You know who you are. 830, I always love you. This is Del Rio.
Del Rio!
I'm from the river, born and raised. Came out here trying to do our thing. I'm trying to show love. And thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rob, for all the opportunity you're giving us. And as we go on the passage, thank you for everybody who's ever welcomed me in their home. Because, it's a long road that goes on between those things.
For sure.
And thank you.
This business is about relationships, bro.
Yeah, for me, the typical friends, family, and loved ones, thank you. But most importantly, these guys sitting next to me. It was hard getting in, but it's even harder staying in because they keep me on my fucking toes. They're very good.
You put up with fucking Joseph.
Yeah, him too, man. Yeah. Brothers fight, brothers argue.
Oh, my God.
But they've taken me down like some different roads, and I thank them all for it. I don't say it enough, man, but thanks, guys.
That's great, bro. That's great. That's great respect.
All right. Well, thank you for having us, Rob.
Of course.
We appreciate it.
We made it happen, brother.
We made it happen. It's tough getting these schedules lined up, but it happens. Thank you to my family, like you said, putting relationships on the side because you got to do shit, and it's just what you do. Thank you, Mom, Dad, family, sisters, brothers, James, Jill. Thank you all the other bands that we've played with that supported us. It just gave our name by word of mouth and spreading us like that. Thank you to anybody that put us on shows. We're still out here trying to do it. Thank you to Clifton for getting the sound out there.
Yeah.
Thank you to anybody that's helped us with videos. We've done all of them ourselves, and I'm very proud of that. Thank you for these guys for putting up with me. I'm like the mom of the group. Obviously, if you're not in the van when the car's leaving, you're not fucking going to Chuck E. Cheese, okay? So that's me. Thanks for putting up with me. But
Adrian,
someone has to fucking light the
know.
fire. But that's pretty much it, man. Again, thank you for having us. It's been great. I've never done an interview before, so this is my first. I appreciate it.
And I
pretty
can guarantee
nice.
you that it's not going to get better than this. Guarantee you that, my friend.
We're there.
Hey, I want you guys to know.
Next, we're on the Oprah Network. That's my goal.
My final words to you guys is I want you guys to know something seriously, that I am a fan of this record. I really love this record. And that's why I was so kind of stoked. Joseph said, I'm stoked to come over. And I said, I'm stoked to have you, bro. I love this record. I want to talk about this record. I want to share this record with all the people out there who watch my show, from Mexico to Brazil to the UK. Everybody around the world who watches Rob's MetalWorks, to fucking know about this record and to jam it, and they're going to love it just like I do. So thank you, guys. We had to wait for your fucking ass to get here, but we did it. We did it. We did it. Thank you, Uber. And we waited for you, and we made this happen. and having you, Adrian, made our interview so much richer. So for everyone out there, don't forget the brand new record from Violent Practice is called Demented Circus It is out there right now. So once you finish watching this interview, go to your favorite music outlet, go and look for it and download it. Killer ass 5 tracks. You're gonna love it. Remember, you saw the band only right here on Rob's MetalWorks.